commendable
had
job.
an intracranial hemorrhage. She's in the ICU. And like every man has a wife as a backup, for a working woman, your maid is your wife and your backup. So I'm totally
Yes.
handicapped. So
She's been operated, ma'am,
yeah,
successfully.
she's today stable, but with the
Uh-huh.
aneurysm clip and all, they said 7 days you have to be
Yes,
very
absolutely.
cautious. She's just 47, poor lady.
Oh,
She's been with us for 12 years, so she's part of the family.
he must be just like a family member.
And I'm so used to her, na, so I'm finding it very difficult with
Ah,
training a new boy.
true,
Is my screen
absolutely.
visible?
Yes,
Yeah.
Samir bhai.
So Samir, I don't have to project now. You have put the new order, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how are you all enjoying the course?
Yeah, ma'am. I hope the delegates are also enjoying.
Good evening, Swati ma'am. I'm learning a lot. I'm Rakesh Bharadwaj.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, fine, ma'am. Fine, thank you. I just heard of life skills and read a little bit about that, but it's quite an extensive and many things to learn yet.
No, Samir, Prashant, and Sandeep have worked very hard to make the latest module. So we have gone actually very high above the routine life skills because we are dealing with adults and experts, pediatricians. So we took it to a much, much higher level.
Presentations are excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Perhaps AI has worked a lot.
Yeah. These three are techie experts.
Yeah.
But Dr. Bhardwaj, we have to feed AI to get the best results. So it is the feeder who gets the credit.
They say no garbage in, garbage out. If you don't give,
Yes.
and you have to also check because AI can give wrong information.
Yes,
So when you do chat
absolutely.
GPT slides, you have to always counter check the
Absolutely.
contents.
We need to. We cannot entirely rely on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So Samir
Good
bhai, it
evening.
is I think 8:30, and Dr. Shamik has also joined. Welcome,
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
Shamik. Should we
Very good
start now?
evening to Professor Swati Bhave, to Dr. Samisha, ma'am, to you and to everyone. First is Dr. MKC Nair will not be joining for today's session. He has a concurrent session commitment somewhere else. So welcome to all the delegates for today's session. And hopefully over the weekend, we've had time to reflect upon whatever we have already learned, and most should have completed their assessment that was sent this morning, which helps us to learn better in the session that is coming up. So without further ado, can I please hand over to Dr. Shushma Desai and Professor Swati Bhave for some opening statements before Dr. Samisha starts the program.
Sushma, you can make the opening statements because I'm giving a lecture. So I'll make my
Okay.
statements during the lecture.
Yeah,
Right.
no
Thank
problem,
you.
ma'am. No problem. And it's really enthralling to see all of you on virtual platform for a really, really impactful learning sessions. We have learnt a lot during past sessions, and we look forward to having a great learning today also. Tomorrow, it's very, very kind of a enriching experience for all of you in breakthrough sessions. So without wasting much time, I would like to, request Dr. Samir Bhai and Dr. Sandeep and Dr. Prashant to begin the session. And thank you, ma'am. It's sincerest gratitude to you for giving H an opportunity to be part of this exhilarating program, ma'am. Thank you so much.
My pleasure and honor.
So, dear friends, very good evening. And this is our fourth session of the life skill orientation. And we all know we all are in the learning phase of the life skill and how life skill is helpful to us. That's what we learn during these sessions. As per we all know this is the 10 core life skill which was for which we are focusing on. that including the self-awareness, empathy, coping with emotion, coping with stress, creative thinking, critical thinking, decision making, problem solving, of course, and the communication skill and interpersonal relationship. And we already divided them into the 10 core life skill, into the head skill, heart skill, and hand skill. And as we all know, we are every time start with the heart. What say we have
Samir, am I
started with
supposed
that.
to take this lecture or are you taking?
No, madam, I am just handing over to you.
Okay.
Just so now this today it will be the we have to head, and for that I handing over to Dr. Swati Parama.
Okay. Thank you, Samir. So you all have gone through 3 sessions of life skills, and today is our 4th session. So why do we start in a particular fashion? You all know that self-awareness is the key life skill because unless we make an adolescent or ourselves aware of our strengths and weaknesses, and unless we introspect our own personality, we are not able to digest or process the rest of the life skills. And hence, the first life skill which we take is always self awareness. Because once you understand your strengths and weaknesses, then you understand how best to utilize the other life skills to overcome your weaknesses and further strengthen your strengths. Empathy is extremely important because you have to understand that there are people who are very different from you and you have to be tolerant and not discriminate. So once you have self-awareness, that means you understand yourself. Once you develop empathy, that means you know how to tolerate others and there is unity in diversity. Then you go to the coping with emotions and coping with stress. Why do we emphasize so much now for coping with stress and emotions? Because we all know that adolescents are developing their brain, and just now they are having a preponderance of the amygdala, that is the hypothalamic limbic system. And hence, they are always working through a hot cognition, and their emotions are very labile, very frequent, very changeable. And hence, we have to first teach them how to cope up with stress and emotions. Once a person becomes self aware, he develops empathy and he can cope with stress and emotions. He is now a confident personality. And once this confident personality, that means now he has developed his self, he has understood his self, he's understood emotional regulation, comes the next step, that is the hand. That means now we have to make him realize how to cope up. And there comes into play communication. That means he has to learn the assertive style of communication so that he's not trodden over by a submissive behavior or he's not having conflicts with the aggressive behavior. Once he learns the communication skills, then we help him for interpersonal relationship. Because whatever success you get in life, if you are not able to have interpersonal relationships, if you are not able to build up a team, if you do not get along with people, you are not going to be successful in any project or any job. And we know that very high IQ people also, if they don't have a EQ or they don't have a SQ, that is social status quotient, or adjustably quotient, that is AQ, they often fall back in even multinational companies. And hence, understanding interpersonal relationships and developing empathy and your emotional IQ is extremely important for any human being. Having now gone through the heart and the hand, now we come to the head. And why do we come last to the head? Because of the adolescent brain development, which I will be coming in the next slides. So, thinking is the last session, which is creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. Next. So now when we talk behind one. Huh? So now when we talk about thinking skills, we have to understand that we have to go per cognitive development of an adolescent. And we all know that around 10 to 12, we have abstract and we have concrete thinking that is now and here. And after that, depending on the maturity, between 12 to 14, the abstract thinking develops. This abstract thinking enables an adolescent to understand the consequences of his behavior of today, projecting into future, impulse control, and the various aspects of how to navigate in life and decision making and problem solving. So, till a child develops abstract thinking, these thinking skills are not going to be really sharpened because ultimately, each development follows a routine progress. That means, however intelligent a child is, a 1 year child is not expected to run, or a 2 year child is not supposed to bicycle. And hence, we have to understand that though we are teaching thinking skills, they are going to be applicable as per the age of the adolescents. That means when we teach thinking skills to the age group of 10 to 14, some of them may develop the abstract thinking, but a majority of them will use these skills depending on their concrete thinking. And once they are 14 plus and their brain is now started abstract thinking, they are going to be able to use the thinking skills much better. So we can't, just because we have started giving thinking skills, you can't expect a 10 or 12-year-old boy or a girl to suddenly become very mature and start excellent decision making and problem solving and the creative and critical thinking. But what we are doing is we are trying to make the prefrontal cortex start using these thinking skills. So as they mature, if they get an, because everything we know that the more you practice something, it becomes stronger, whether it's your muscles or whether it's your neurons. So when we are having pruning of the brain, whichever neurons are using more, they will proliferate. And we know the very well-known adage that use it or lose it. So we are trying to help adolescents to develop the abstract thinking and use the thinking skills, that is the head. Next. So, understanding adolescent brain development, we know that the emotional brain or the amygdala is fully developed early because this is the primitive brain, which is fight, flight, or freeze. And this controls the impulses and emotions, and hence, adolescents are going to be impulsive, they are going to be having hot cognition, and they are going to indulge in high risk behavior. The prefrontal cortex of the thinking brain does not mature till 25 years when it starts maturing around 20 to 22 years. And that is why we have often emphasized that though the legally a person is adult at the age of 18 years because he's able to drive, he's able to vote, and many places he's able to drink. But we cannot expect complete wisdom like an adult. And hence, when we castigate adolescents and say that you are not thought of the consequences, you are not thinking ahead, you don't care for the family reputation, we are not being very justful to them. And we have to understand that though we should not promote whatever they're doing, at the same time, we should have empathy that their abstract thinking and their prefrontal cortex is still developing. So when they make mistakes, you guide them, but pardon them and help them to understand that these mistakes are part of their development, but they have to learn a lesson from the mistake so that they don't repeat the same mistake again. And we help them or impulse control by teaching them coping with emotions and coping with stress. And we help them to make proper decisions by using the executive functions, that is the thinking skills. We know that's why there's a gap, that adolescents have a high horsepower engine, that is emotions, but poor brakes with prefrontal cortex. Thinking skills act as the external brakes or training wheels for the developing prefrontal cortex. So, whenever adolescents we teach, we say that yes, we understand you are working from your emotional brain, but that does not give you an excuse to not use your thinking skills, because with life skills, that is what we are trying to do. So many adolescents, after doing our peer educator program, go home and tell their parents, now you have to accept whatever we behave, because we have been told that our brain is not mature enough. So you must be very, very forgiving. And the parents who have also done life skills with us tell us, yes, we have also undergone that course. And we also know that you have an emotional brain which is preponderant. And that's precisely why you need adult guidance. And that is precisely why we are going to monitor you. We are going to reprimand you at times when you are taking high risk behavior. We are going to set boundaries to you, and you have to accept it because your thinking brain is not well developed. Next. So we know that again, the 10 to 25, the adolescent is the emotional brain, and we call this below upward control. That means it is driven by the amygdala, which is the seat of emotions, and the hypothalamic limbic system. And hence, as I said, impulsive risk taking behavior is common, getting angry, being aggressive, talking rudely, talking arrogantly. This is very common, and adults have to understand that they have to use their cold cognition. They have to use their thinking brain. And if an adolescent talks rudely and aggressively, you do not accept it. With a very calm tone, you have to tell him that this sort of talk will not be accepted. I'm your father, your mother, or teacher. So calm down and speak in a calm manner. But we know that once it is 22 to 25, the thinking brain, that is the prefrontal cortex, starts developing, and the development is from behind forwards. That means the cerebellum develops first. And that is why we know all the stars, whether it's Wimbledon or cricket or any sports, Olympics, are the teenagers. And sometimes then this teenager causes a burnout, and then these stars go into a lot of depression because they are not able to perform the same way when they are adults. And all this is the part of adolescent brain development. So when the prefrontal cortex starts developing, then now the adolescence is now going to think of planning, decision making, and impulse control. Next. So we have to understand the thinking which is fast and which is slow. The system one is the amygdala. So it is fast, automatic, gut feeling. The adolescent thinks before he acts. I mean, acts before he thinks. So it's very quick, automatic, low effort, intuitive, and emotional. Generally use shortcuts and patterns, best for routine actions and snap decisions. But what are the risks? It is life saving because these are impulses which control from danger. So either you fight, flight, or if you freeze, you're going to have issues. So this is automatic life saving system. So every time if you're going to use your automatic life saving system, which is facing a danger, you are not going to have any sensible or low risk taking decision in your life. So the system two, which is using your prefrontal cortex, is the slow, effortful, and logical, where you analyze every situation, you think before you act, and you choose the options of any decision, and you decide that this decision has less risk or less problems. This decision has more problems or long term consequences which are not good, and that is why you choose the decision wisely. So, this is analytical, logical, step by step reasoning, best for complex problems and all important choices in adolescence, overthinking and mental fatigue. So sometimes when you overthink, that also is problematic because overthink will come to a situation like Hamlet Shakespeare that you can't take a decision. And then this non-decision taking can lead to a lot of emotional turmoil and lot of stress. Next. If slides are not clear, please check your internet, or if you're coming from a mobile, please log through your desktop. So when you talk of thinking skills, the low order skills are remembering, understanding, and applying. And the high order thinking skills are creating, evaluating, and analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Next. So adolescence is a period of major decisions. And that is why thinking skills are so important, because unless we teach adolescent how to approach a problem, that is problem solving matrix, how to come to a decision, that is a decision solving matrix, which will be all told to you in the sessions which are coming after me. And this is very important because when you have to solve a problem and you have to make a decision, you have to do critical thinking. And if only these three skills don't work, you have to use your creative thinking, which is out of the box. And we know that the adolescent has many, many issues for which decision making is important. And the first and foremost today, especially in India, because of the academic cutthroat competition, is the career decisions. And we have seen what is happening just now with the NEET results and the parliament into a turmoil. So career decision making is very important. And we have discussed this in cases, how to make a career decision. And then whenever adolescents go under stress, they go into unhealthy way of coping stress. And what is unhealthy way of coping stress? Instant dopamine release. And what is instant dopamine release? That is addictions. So this can be substance abuse, digital dependency, mental health impact, breaking free. So when stress is handled in an unhealthy manner, they are going to go into addictions. And that's why the decision making is that I will make healthy choices to cope up with my emotions and stress, and not go into unhealthy things which are going to lead me to dopamine addiction. Then toxic relationships. We have to, again, we have discussed this in detail, and we discussed this through case scenarios also, that romantic relationships, just friend to friend relationships, all these are very important to them, but they have to learn which are healthy friendship, healthy romantic relationships, and which are helping them as a person. So their emotional well-being, recognizing abuse, seeking support when they're having a toxic relationship, and setting boundaries in every relationship is something which they have to understand and make decisions. We all know that whatever choices children or adolescents make, they track through adolescence. And that is why today the non communicable diseases are absolutely on the rise all over the world. And because adolescents do not understand this, we need to make them understand that lifestyle diseases are preventable by adopting a healthy lifestyle, that is, diet, exercise, stress management, and this will prevent long term diseases today of diabetes, hypertension, mental health issues, cancer, etc. And last but not the least, adolescents, due to their impulsive behavior and risk taking behavior, are going to have impulsive sex. And whenever there's impulsive sex, it is more likely to be unsafe sex without use of contraception. And hence, there's a higher risk of STIs, unplanned pregnancy. And both these, as we know, will have tremendous not only physical but emotional consequences. Next. So now this revised taxonomy bloom, frankly, this is not part of the life skills, but since we are all adolescent experts, we are interested in the cognitive development of adolescents. We are interested in the academic progress. We are just showing it to you. But if you find this a little difficult, please put the questions in the chat box group, not here, because we don't want to waste too much time on discussing this slide. So I'll go through it rapidly. So if you go from this key message is, this is the most widely used framework in education for planning, learning, assessment. The inverted pyramid clearly shows that learning progresses from simple recall to high order thinking. The key message is that learning is a journey. So we can't immediately ask learners to think critically. So we have to move from the bottom to the top. At the foundation is remembering. This simply means recalling facts, definitions, or information. For example, a student remembers the symptoms of ADHD or lists the stages of adolescent development. Remembering is important, but it is only the first step. The next step is understanding. Here, the learner explains ideas in their own words, summarizes concepts, compares information, or interprets meaning. For example, instead of just listing ADHD symptoms, now we explain why these symptoms affect a child's school performance. The third level is applying. Now, knowledge which you get has to be put into practice. For example, in ADHD, after learning behavioral management techniques, we use positive reinforcement in classroom, or a pediatrician applies developmental principles, and we teach behavioral therapy when we are counseling parents for the ADHD child. Then comes analyzing. Now, analyzing, you examine information, identify relationship, compare alternative, understands the consequences. For example, we analyze that why one child responds well to the behavioral therapy protocol given, while another requires additional intervention. Analysis develops problem solving skills. The fifth level is evaluate. Here you make informed judgment based on evidence. You calculate the pros and cons of different treatment plans in ADHD, critique research studies, or decide which behavioral intervention is most appropriate for a particular patient and the particular set of parents. This requires critical thinking rather than just accepting information. And the last is the creative, which is the highest level of learning. Learners now generate new ideas, design programs, develop innovative solutions, or produce original work. For example, designing life skill curriculum for adolescents, creating a counseling module for parents, or developing a new community intervention program for ADHD. This is where knowledge transforms into innovation. The key take home message is that these levels are not separate boxes, they build upon each other. We move from remembering to understanding to applying, then analyzing, evaluating, and finally clearing. So good education moves learners from knowing to doing and ultimately creating. So if you have any questions on this slide or any queries, put them in the chat box. In the next 2 days, we will solve your queries. Next. So we all know that the moment you go on the internet, we just get lost into it because there's an information overload. And we get so lost that whatever we are trying to check, we start going into different websites and the original focus gets lost. And this is what is classically too much data, information overload, which makes it very hard to think clearly, focus, or make good decisions. This is common problem in the digital age due to the constant flow of flood from technology, and this leads to stress, anxiety, poor performance, and mental fatigue. We start to find solutions focusing on prioritizing, filtering, and managing intake. So adolescents also have to be trained that just because the internet is available at your fingertips, you must know how much to search, which websites are accurate, and how not to get lost into the information overload, and how not to be too much on the social media where it can totally get you absorbed and totally lead to mental fatigue, FOMO, and depression, anxiety, etc. Next. So critical thinking is now next. So I will stop here and give over to my team. Thank you.
So now we understand the basic understanding of the all the thinking skill and how we can apply in a regular base. For that purpose, we have to understand each and every thinking skill personally. And for after the understanding the each and every skill individually, we will understand how we can apply in our day-to-day practice. And starting with the critical thinking is very utmost important because it is the ability to analyze information and experience objectively, and it mainly involves the assessing the factors that influencing the attitude, such as the if we can take in adolescent the media exposure and peer pressure, just madam has seen in the last slide. And for that they require reasonable judgment that ultimately give a crucial in the digital age that combine the health misinformation like the fact news that will be defined by them, and whether it is correct or not, that will be the very important for them to understand. At the same time, they must have to critically think about the resistive negative peer pressure in constructive and structured way that ultimately not dangerous to their life, and they will live in a proper peaceful manner in a systematic manner. So ultimately, vulnerability to the exploitation and high susceptibility to substance abuse because of the peer pressure and poor health literacy may ultimately affecting the direct outcome of the how the life will be miserable for the adolescent and ultimately in adulthood. So critical thinking is very important for them to understand in beginning, and if they able to start a proper systematic generalized thinking about the critical thinking, that will really help them to take a proper problem solving and decision making. So it's really require an attitude to being disposed to consider problem thoughtfully, demonstrating the open mindedness and flexibility. At the same time, persistence is very important, and it will be mainly focused on the reasoning, means thinking logically why this happened. At the same time, capacity of evaluating is equally important to understand the critical thinking methodology. It helps in the assessing the whether it is usefulness of these things are there or not, how it reliably depends on this information, and how they can implement in their regular life. And that is all about the analyzing, that exploring the information in detail, that whether the getting that detail is right or wrong, if their implementation is practically possible or not, whether the influence by the peers will be really affecting their daily life or it may lead to the miserable life in future. And at the same time, they have to examine and investing the actual truth that is correct for their own life decision. Now we understanding what is the skepticism, because many times that will be considered as a something wrong what we are thinking, but actually skepticism is a mental act of the suspending the judgment, and instead of immediately accepting or rejecting the any new information, a skeptic hits the pause button, that is the yellow light in the traffic light model, to verify the fact whether it is correct or not. They will inquire about the evidence-based outcome, and once they will get the evidence properly, then and then they will act on that. Otherwise, they will not. And it is the different from the cynicism. Here, there will be the very true understanding will be so much deeply they are going, that may lead to the more and more problem in cynicism. But true skepticism involves to being a skeptical for their own belief, and that will be the directly channelize their thinking. They are challenging their thinking and coming to the proper systematic outcome. That is about the skepticism. Now, what is the meaning of that skeptic still? Because the primary defense mechanism of the brain is combat with a fact, news, and misinformation. It will overcome the cognitive biases and protect against the manipulation and enhance the scientific literacy. And that's why this skeptic still is very important. And excessive skepticism is the opposite to that. That is not again a good, because it ultimately lead to the analytic paralysis, slide into the denialism, and they will always delay everything because of the denial in the consider taking decision. It ultimately also erodes the truth and relationship and trusting in each and every one of who they are loved one. Mental fatigue and burnout, it will become the high if we are too much skeptic and losing the meaning at all, and ultimately it will not effectively channelize their thought process. But at the same time, we have to understand that in the era of the WhatsApp Baba and WhatsApp में जो पढ़ा है वही we are taking everything problematic, that in which skeptics still will be help us to decide whether this will be correct or not, whether we have to react or not, we have to act or not. Critical thinking will be make we can discuss on basis of the 5 W and H method, because it is a purposeful, reasoned, and good directed. It helps the individual to interpret, analyze, evaluate, and draw the inference about the situation. And because of this, it helps into the defining the actual problem and identifying the root cause, and how we can identify and utilize this 5W and H method by asking ourselves what is the actual source of this information. Then it's where it is located, whether it is the really in a just media, or it is really having some basic base of real base in our real life also. Then what is the situation really motivated, or motive of this thinking is very important. Then it is coming about the what the actual problem is with the evidence base, and when the timeline will be the consequences ultimately if we not accept or the accept. That was we have to find out, and ultimately our process and into the how actually we process the our situation. We will definitely understand this in detail in when we are taking some case scenario on that. So it is a crucial to shift out the fact from the opinion or assumption, and for avoiding the cognitive bias, and for this 5W, that who, where, why, what, and when, along with the how, if we having a critically implement in our framework of thought process, it will really give a good interpretation and ultimately good outcome. So now coming to the some thinking bias. Once we understand that critical thinking is very important to make some specific thinking, that is ultimately give us the goal of the going for some problem solving or decision making. But many times there is a sometime thing that are the bias will be there in our mind, and that may hamper us to take a right decision. Like sometimes if we are thinking that the gaming is good, and once we will get the same study or the same thing on the on internet media, that is there more giving us about the our belief into the more fruitful way. But actually that is about taking the only positive review. That doesn't give any negative outcome there. We don't want to take. Means what see we what see that what we believe, and that ultimately giving the decision that what we are thinking is absolutely right, and ignoring the correct decision making that may be sometimes contradictory also. This is called the confirmation bias. That now coming to the anchoring bias, and we majority of time we go into the any mall or any store, and what we are looking about the sale is going on, and they are crossing the mark of the original price of rupees 5,000, and now it is only at 2,500 rupees. And what immediately stuck into the our mind, that is our the number, and what it is tempting us to take let's purchase this because it's a almost half price. But actually when we are thinking going for in detail, actually its price is almost less than 2,500 and almost around 2,000 also. So this is the restricting us ourselves about the negotiating, this is taking the decision that this may be the we have to go for in detail about the investing the investigating whether it is correct or not, and that stucking into the number is called anchoring bias. So this confirmation bias and anchoring bias will be always restricting ourselves to go for a critically thinking of our skill, and that making us such a situation that ultimately lead to our wrong decision making, and our problem will be more confusing. And in critical thinking, important is to see a actual big picture. And we all know the story of the blind man and elephant. And when the blind man touches the elephant in a different aspect, they will identify it as a different object. They are not able to identify an elephant a wool. If they are touching to the trunk of the elephant, they thinking it will be snake. If they are touching to the tail, they will thinking it is a rope. When touching it to the total body, that will be the wall, or it may be a tree when they are touching the legs. So this will be the giving a not a clear actual picture if we are not thinking in a critical way as a big picture, as a whole problem, as a whole single problem, and we are trying to identify it's a different way, that may lead to the our critical thinking in a biased way. And that's why we have to take a proper exercise to go for a distinguishing the actual size of the our problem, what is the fact and what are the opinion, and we have to act accordingly. So now about the all theory, let's having something to the hands-on with a poll time. And I think everyone know this movie is, which movie is this? uh, Sandeep, you have to take the
Yes, yes, I am
call.
there. No answer yet. Drishyam, yes. Yes,
Yes,
all
it's
about
a
it.
Drishyam, and it's a let's take a poll from this movie. When the cable operator in Drishyam, Ajay Devgan, planned having a perfect cover story, he carefully studied the police procedure and planned the every step logically. To which life skill does he use? Whether it is a critical thinking, whether it is a creative thinking, problem solving, or decision making. You can write into our
One
chat.
critical thinking written, some have written creative, some have written all of them. Most of them are doing critical. Few are doing creative.
Right. The correct answer, absolutely. It is the what at presently we are asking for the thinking skill. It is a critical thinking, but the correct answer is definitely application of the all the thinking skill, starting from the critical thinking about the really he requires some think thought process to start about the how they can hide the murder thing that happen. He then starting about the, what is the problem thing is there, how much problem is there, and then he can plan some decision making, and for that he creatively decides some story that will be really help the her his family. So this is definitely answer will be the all may be right, but it is a mainly affect use of the critical thinking, that what we have to understand. Over to Sandeep.
Thank you very much, sir. So the answer to the question of Drisham, somebody has put question mark for critical thinking. Yes, critical thinking because he studied the police. He's just a cable operator. He doesn't know anything about police. But he went through his television and studied how they worked. So that is observing, taking down all the facts. On this group of knowledge and facts, he based his further premises. So that is, he started with critical thinking. Now we move to the
And
second thinking, because
and
all
plus
problems.
plus over and above that thing, critical thinking is that his family is in danger, and he has to start only thinking, and that is a critical thinking. Yes.
Yes. So now we move to next skill, creative thinking, because all our problems are not just fact based. Many of the time, you have to have an ability to think beyond direct experience, because maybe it is the first time the situation has happened to us, or we may be in novel circumstances. So there should be other alternatives, which we call thinking outside the box. This is very, very important, essential for coping with stress. It helps adolescents to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel when they are feeling trapped by academic or social pressures. When there is deficiency of creative thinking, person is very rigid looking. There is any inability to cope with any change. Whenever there is any change where plan A fails, they cannot go to plan B. So we always should have key, if their plan A fails, what can be the different options I can take? Okay, there is some negatives in plan B, but are there any positives which can help me further? How can I enhance this? So person having such kind of thinking will be more comfortable when his plan A fails. So creative thinking is very important. Next slide, please. So we will do a small exercise. The girl is holding something in her hand. Hmm? So let us say, what is can she use that thing for? What is the thing which she is holding in the hand can be used for? This is a handball, okay, to play, correct? Playing. Can we do anything else? So it is a ball, any ball which it may be, and she can play with it. But let us say a parent or teacher comes, and with the help of this tool, I have to teach that child certain things. So one answer has come, teaching colors. So yes, we can use exercise, good. Geometry, very nice. Shape, size, okay. Study, teaching shapes, correct. Volume, maybe, yes. So what we have, laws of motion, correct. So we can even use physics, textures, maybe. Numbers, yes, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, how many times she can drop. As a weapon, yes, maybe we are saying physical. So once we start, initial answers were all playing. But once we started creative thinking, we started to have so many answers. Uh, Teaching planets, throwing motor activity, throwing to help how to catch. Can we teach social cues? So she plays with the friend and they take turn each other. So they understand social cues also. So there are multiple things which can be used. So this is a cognitive barrier. It occurs when we look at an object in only a typical function, thus preventing us to discover a new or innovative use. So adolescents many times are thinking there is no solution out of this. And mama comes and solves the problem in 1 minute. So this is because mother has experience and she has seen that this one thing can be used in 100 different ways. So there is flexibility of skills and they can elaborate. So as we discussed, if we can throw it, we can kick it, we can play with a person, we can juggle, maybe motor hand-eye coordination, we can count, we can chase. So you have given more than enough answers. So what we need is for creative thinking, flexibility of thinking and elaboration skill. That is, have numerous options. Next thing, please. So we should not be fixed in function so that we can be creative. So there are many ways which the thinking skills can be explored. So there is something known as six hat technique. This is a way where we force our brain to think in different aspects of an situation or an idea. So what we do is in six hat thinking, I will do it later. So what we are trying to do is with fluency. That is, within certain time, we want to generate many ideas regarding the situation. Flexibility. So at the time, I'm thinking from pros bracket. Maybe I'm now thinking from the cons bracket. Maybe I can think from a neutral perspective. So changing perspectives. Then originality. So there are 10 ideas given by my classmates. Let us think what 11th, 12th idea can I bring to the table. So originality and elaboration. Somebody gives a small seed of an idea and I make that idea big, elaborate. So that is elaboration. So many thinking models use this method. This there is the six hat this. So what we do when the person is wearing that hat, he is only thinking in that perspective. So when he is thinking that I am wearing a white hat, he will only discuss the facts and elaborate all the facts. Black hat, so only negative things. What are the risks of this idea? Blue hat, okay. If I have to do this thing, what are the different processes and aspects and steps which I need to take? When I'm doing with yellow hat, I'm thinking optimism. Okay, if my idea works, what will be the good things which come out of it? When I'm working green hat, I'm thinking what are the other creative solutions to this problem? So, and red hat, I'm thinking feelings. So, what could, how will I feel? How will the other person feel? Will this situation cause any problem in the social circumstances? So, thinking an idea in six different ways will help us to organize different ideas and have different perspective to solve the problem. In young adolescents, we can do few of these techniques like mind mapping. So what do in mind mapping? This is known as radiant thinking. Instead of linear notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because adolescent mind sometimes works in a zigzag manner, what we do is we use associations. Mind mapping mimics the brain's natural structure, starting from a center and exploding outwards. So this is used in planning and memorization. So what we do is build a center stage. So I want to hold a party. How many? Where? At my home. How many? 5 friends. So what are the points I need to think about? So the adolescents think, oh, I need to plan food and drinks. So what could be the snacks? What is the main? Do I want to order sweets? Oh, I also want to order drinks. So we come. Then the setup and vibe. Okay, where do I have? Where do I have a living room? Oh, I need to arrange more chairs because friends are coming. So can we have some lights and Bluetooth speakers so that we can dance? So that is, what are the guests I want to involve? Oh, will I involve them? Oh, I need to get confirmation so that I don't over order the food. So similarly, a mind map involves a center stage, branching out, and colorful visuals with sub branches. It helps us follow a line of thought. And similarly, we can organize lots of information. Even for studies, mind mapping can be used. Next, please. Then comes creative thinking is reframing. Reframing is a technique which helps us to be positive. This is changing of us perspective. The problem is not the problem. The way you see the problem is the problem. Because we know that most of the entrepreneurs in this world are problem solvers. They find a solution to this problem and then encash it. So can we change the wording? Old frame, I have to study. New frame, work of mind, I get to study so I can achieve my dreams. So you change the perspective, study becomes exciting because now they are associated with my dreams. Change the context. Old framework, I failed the test. New framework, oh, it's good. I did not get the answers to this. I know that there is a problem in this my preparation for this lesson. I can prepare better for my final exams. It's good it happened today. The yet technique. So whenever you fail at something, you don't say, I can't do this. You say, I can't do this yet. I will try and improve. So this is how you can reframe a situation. When we are reframing, what we are doing is moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So what happens in a fixed mindset person has a scarcity view that whatever I share with others, I am losing something. There is fear of judgment and therefore they avoid collaboration. The mindset is I can't share, I might lose. This may be true for certain, let's say, food or some items, but when you seek in the long term, when you are sharing with someone, the chances that people will share with you back is far more. So when a person is having growth mindset, he starts to understand that sharing helps everyone learn. Sharing with others will help my social circle and place myself at a better position when I am in problem. So this is the abundance view. They embrace feedback. Okay, you think I did not do very good today. but I will improve tomorrow. They value connection. And social connection is very important because today the adolescent has their parents' social network. But as they grow older, move to different cities for education, move to different circles for jobs, they are going to require an ability to make social connections, and reframing, going from a fixed mindset to growth mindset, will help them. Then other creative thinking techniques include brainstorming. The process involves is preparation for brainstorming is gathering all the facts and defining the problem you want to try to solve. Then incubation. So in incubation, what you do is allowing the mind to wander and try to jot down whatever ideas come in your mind. Once you go there, within that ideas, you find something which is the illumination. That is the aha moment of insight. Oh, this is also a new perspective. This way also I can solve the problem. Then once you hit that idea, you do verification implementation. That is, you think, okay, do I need to check really whether this idea will work together? The technique which you have said will be successful. You think about it, you take opinions. And once you think that this idea will work, you elaborate and make a step-by-step plan. So brainstorming is a technique used to generate a large number of alternative ideas. So plan B, plan C, plan D. So it helps them. So this is a uh, video. So these are the basics of creative thinking. Just watch the video, then we'll have a question. Which is the movie just before we. This idea is of a fantastical proportion, but he overcame the barrier of cognitive barrier of functional fixedness. So, which skill did he use? You can just write the ABCD. Yes, creative thinking, correct. All. This is mostly creative thinking because there were palm trees. He saw that palm tree as some like a catapult. So that was creative thinking. The enemy did not ever think that somebody can use them and use those palm trees around them as catapults. So that was an example of creative thinking. Samir sir?
Okay. So now we understand the two important thinking skill, that is about the critical thinking. That means the how judgmentally we can critically think about the what the actual problem is and how we can get a solution. And creative thinking, that is all about the how the other methodology or the other solution that creatively we thought about for a best outcome of the our problem. But understanding about the actually the how to identify the problem is very basic in thing, that what we have to identify. Before that we can't do any action or anything, and for that our thinking process is very important. Amount about the creatively difficult in a, your day-to-day life functioning is also important. Keep a nagging to your mind on regular basis, how this affect your mental health, how it affect your performance, and how it affects your sleep and appetite, and how you are not comfortable and happy. All these things ultimately give us the actually how much the intensity of this problem, and what the solution really require immediate action, that is the fast action, or it will be slow thinking process, what madam has excellently uh, giving the idea about in the beginning. So let's discuss about the something about the problem. Now we understand about the critical thinking, creative thinking, but how we can solve and utilize the our thinking skill in a practical problem, that what we are discussing now in one-to-one different case scenario. So you are want to being a pediatrician or the being a very active practitioner, want to go for a vacation for 1 month, and Dr. ABC is going to manage your OPD in your absence, and you want to make some SOP for the OPD management in your absence, that you can have a good peace of the mind at the when you are going for a vacation of almost 1 month. So what is our goal is enjoying the holiday without the stress of the running of the clinic, and at the same time second goal is the smooth running of the clinic in your option. So our goal is set now. Okay, this is our set goal, and that what this is a basic problem. For that, what we are have to work. So there are the different skill will be help us to plan this in systematic way. Starting with the self-awareness that whether our staff is trained or not, whether our clinic is equipped or not, the locum doctor is really a trained and certified to run or not. Then coming to the empathy, what is the expected problem of the staff will face in absence of us? What are the expected problem by the locum doctor will face in your absence, with whether they are able to convince the all the patient like you are convincing, whether your he can directly cooperate you getting good cooperation from the staff that he can directly concentrate on focusing on the treatment of the patient or not. And at the same time we have to empathize about the expectation and confusion of the patient, the what they will face in your absence. So this is an empathetic view that what we have to plan about. Then comes about our critical thinking. That is the what are the most important three issues that must be taken care, and what will be the emergency channel to connect you. After that, our critical thinking start on that means what are the other options if locum is not available. What other thing can be done? Then coming to the decision making, whether the locum should be kept or not, how much responsibility to given to him or us, and what will be the SOP for our staff to handle the patient in absence of us. And finally, the problem solve come that final SOP and guideline to be followed by the staff and locum. We will prepare, and that will give our ultimate our goal to be fulfilled. So what ultimately this is a vacation action plan from zero error to zero patient attrition. That starting from the step one means define the never event, means list the red line do not be changed in a condition that can be drug cannot be changed. What are the mandatory referrals and when it will be referred? What are the legals that must have to maintain? And ultimately skill that is used in this thing is a critical thinking. So our step one will be depicting the our critical thinking. Then coming is the step two, which means our decision making, whether what are the green things that can be managed easily by the our locum, like the acute fever and cough vaccination, that can be easily done. There is a always yellow zone problem, like the few VIPs are coming, few people, the person will be asking the discount against the management. They have to whom they have to concern and who will be decision making. And lastly, about the very serious cases, whether we have to take or not, depend on the our staff availability, our infrastructures availability. Then coming into the what is the operational firewall, where we have to keep a proper check, like the problem can be not occurred, like the head nurse will be final authority to schedule the all the staff thing, and they are not the locum, because staff head nurse is knowing the each and every staff how much capacity of their work and when they require actual work. Then all the stocks should be properly maintained and also stored in a proper way, that will be the least chances of the insufficient you requirement will be there. At the same time, if some conflict can be occurred, how we can avoid that type first, and if it occurs, how we can manage it that. So this SOP will be formed, and finally we can having some creative thinking about if such thing not work, what are the in the absence of the our own absence, how we can prepare this thing in a proper channelized that the our plan should work properly, like no not on holiday ignoring but advanced training to improve ourselves. At the same time, locum writes the reviewed and place soaps us in the 4 weeks. Likely, he can start in properly. Even nowadays, teleconsultation is also a very effective way of communication, and that reach and channel we can keep open. So this is our action plan in which we had implemented each and every thinking skill in proper structure way that ultimately our problem will be break in a different small pieces, and this problem we can get as an opportunity rather than the making them problem. So this will be the we all things what we learn about. This is the problem solving. We are having a goal is ready and problem is there, but solution will be always there when there is a problem, and that what we have to understand. The what are the process that actually constructing the our problem, and if unresolved, what ultimately they will affect that, including the our mental stress and as well as the physical strain. And our goal to reduce this type of the psychosomatic symptom, and at the same time, if we fail to that lead to the more and more helplessness and problematic situation that can be occur. Now coming to the situation, how we just discussed is about the problem solving. So if we want to discuss that into the structured way, so there is a few methodology that including the one is the ideal method. Here I stand for the identifying the problem, recognizing the problem, its existence, its knowledge, and its intensity. Then define and represent the problem with a clearly what are the problem scope, what are the constraints, and what goals should be there when we are want to clarify this problem. Then come into the explore the possible strategy like the brainstorming, research evaluating method. Just now, the Sandeep has clearly give you a method like mind mapping, etc. Then our actual strategy will start to implement in a proper systematic channelized way, and that ultimately give us the starting of the problem solving strategy. But at the same time, ideally we have to look and learn back about the if something not acceptable outcome comes, we have to learn from that, and ultimately we have to relearn and re-implement this ideal method. There is another method that is the problem solving step method. That again is almost same what we just discussed in the ideal method, but here it's starting with the identifying the problem, then coming into the explore the really what is the root cause of this problem in a fishbone diagram, and then we set a proper goal to do the proper analysis, and then which are the measurable goals that we can change with our critical thinking and creative thinking. Then look at the alternative like brainstorming and mind mapping, and generate many solutions and encouraging creative thinking without any judgment. After starting with a brainstorming, we have to start and select the what is the best solution out of the what solution we had discussed and decided, and which are the risk and which are the benefit of that. Once we decided, we have to implement that, so that whether we have got the idea, we are doing a perfect choice of decision or not. And then we have to evaluate and reflect that what is the actual result that is coming after this all 7 steps what we had done. So this 7 step method or the ideal method is the fragmentation of the our problem, and that will give us an ideal solution to be the implemented in a structured way without any hesitation. That is the our goal. So let's be having a one poll time once more. Everyone know the match in which the India has to win in our final of the our World Cup, and 271 for 4 was there, and previously the Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Yuvraj Singh was the last batsman who are going to play. Previously, usually Yuvraj Singh was coming first and then MS Dhoni is coming. But in this thing, MS Dhoni choose the bat himself ahead than the Yuvraj Singh in 2011 World Cup final, what I just described. So, which the life skill he has used out of these, which is the critical thinking, is it the creative thinking, problem solving, or decision making? Please write into chat.
Most of the them I think decision making, few of they saying problem solving, some are saying creative thinking.
Perfect. So it's a definitely some decision has taken by him first, and then he will think is a critically and creatively that I should go first because he is having a self awareness that I can do much better than the Yuvraj Singh, and he implemented that, and that is the problem solving, and that will the ultimately we want the World Cup. So this is the all about the problem solving and critical thinking and creative thinking working together. So now we understand the problem till now the problem solving is there. So let's understand about the decision making.
So many times, youngsters, even us, know what is the right thing to do. So a teenager is sitting in his room. He has two options. He can go to his friends. There is a birthday party. There is lots of fun. So he will bond with his friends. There will be exams were going on in the last week. So there is lots of stress. So I will feel better. But at the same time, two papers are remaining. So grades are important. Long-term success is important. So future is also important. So now decision is pending. One area there is happiness. One area there is future. So what is the balance? And this is the problem, dilemma, which we all of us face at different times in our life. Even today, there are family function, there is an important case, OPD is going on, and we have to continuously make decisions. Next, okay, next slide, please. So the process of choosing the best option among alternatives is the process of decision making. It involves assessing options and consequences. Many times, when there is a choice between a good and a bad, we all know what is should be done. But when the choice is which is the better good in these two things, or which is the least problematic answer to this problem person, so it becomes tricky when you are choosing between two negatives or two positives. So you have to assess the options and the consequences, short term and long term. This decision making is very important for sexual health, road safety, career choices, especially in young adolescents, because impulsive decision making is a lot of problem. There is continuously the temptation trap where others are offering them sometimes cigarette, sometimes of the first drink, maybe the first late night out, rave parties. So there is addictions, health risk, poor performances and impulsivity, high risk sexual behavior, and reckless driving, all of this occur. Next slide, please. So, how to go about it? In life, you have to take many decisions. So, there are some macro, big decisions career, whom the child is going to make, which stream is he going to select, which college is going to go, uh, which career path is more likely, entrepreneur or job, which person I'm going to marry, or micro, planning a daily schedule. Okay, what should I eat today? Small decisions, large decisions, it has to be taken. Decisions also can be classified by their impact. So something I do, it cannot be reversed or reversible. Okay, I wore this shirt, I tried this on, I did not like it, I changed it to something else. It can be experimental. I don't know what is going to happen. Let us try. We'll find out after 15 days. Delayed. Okay, I cannot, I have to decide, but not now is the not the time. I'll wait for 10 days and then take a call once I get better information. So there are many ways which we can organize the decisions we have to make. Adolescents face internal obstacles like fear of failure because when there is perfectionism, any decision which leads to even small failures, they are trying to avoid. And external factors like social pressures and cognitive biases are stopping them from taking good decisions. The lack of clarity, poor research, and over-analysis can impede effective decision making. Also, when you are continuously working, completely in the hospital, let us say, you are working since morning on small thing, each thing you have to make a decision. By the time you are exhausted and coming home, if somebody asks what to eat, whatever, I don't care, just give me food. So we don't even want to think about small things. So that is what is known as decision making fatigue. And many times, let us say, when we are very tired, children know. They come and ask you, Papa, आज ये खरीदूं क्या? Papa, मुझे यहाँ जाना है. So this is decision making fatigue. So barriers to good decision making include decisions that are hasty, narrow, scattered, or fuzzy. Next slide, please. How can we help adolescents and maybe people like, even like us? So we can use the power method. Power, we first is P. Identify the problem and clarify. What is the issue? What is the core problem I want to address? If there are many parts, break down them. Then again, options, which are other options in front of me. Then W, weighing the pros and cons. Elect and enact the method which you want to, and review and reflect and learn so that you can make the decision, better decision when you go ahead. So initial decisions, whenever you're taking macro decisions or irreversible decision, it is better to go through all of these steps. But as you go ahead and ahead, you identify, early slide please, you identify and you don't every time need to go all the steps. So small decisions, micro decisions, maybe you outsource them, you take the first option which you comes to mind because they do not have a longer impact. But macro decisions, irreversible decisions, decisions which can have long-term consequences need to be going through a process of decision making. Next slide, please. Other way, simplified way, we can say what the teenager must know. It is the challenge. What is the challenge in front of me? So what exactly need I solve or what decision I need to take? While taking this decision, what are the choices? Many times the choice is just saying yes or no. But sometimes there may be nuanced choices. I will say yes to this, but only if these conditions are met. And understanding consequences, both positive and negative. So there are sometimes we only focus on the positive consequences, do the thing, and when the negative consequence comes in front of us, we face a problem. Sometimes we do not analyze the problem carefully, and as we go ahead, we realize, oh, ये तो problem बहुत बड़ा है, and then we require more help. The choices change. So, as much as possible, we should be making an informed decisions in all the three C's. General strategies we can suggest to adolescents include pausing to reflect. Just take a time. Don't take an impulsive decision. Just take one step, think about it. Balancing logic and emotions. So my heart says this, my brain says knows this. So what else? So let us say the first case, the child wanted to go to the party. Okay, but tomorrow is an exam. Just one slide before, sir. Tomorrow is an exam. So what should I do? So let us give my paper. After I finish my last paper, I will plan and I will go to the party. So that is how also we can work. So if balancing logic and emotion and involving when you don't know all the possibilities of choices or consequences, you involve trusted voices while ultimately retaining the ownership of the final choice. So decision making, what we the adolescent has to understand. Tomorrow he cannot say go to his mother or father or any friend. Yeah, I took this decision because of you. Yes, we take help of other people during the decision, but ultimately the decision should be our own. And that is how we take the ownership of the consequences and therefore we learn from the situation and go ahead. Next slide, please. So when there is a temptation trap, what we have to know is if the child who has been tempted for cigarette or substance abuse, if he's a sports person, okay, he will never fall for that trap because he's training for something higher than himself. There is a dream associated with his discipline, and therefore he'll want his healthy future and self-respect. He will not fall the trap. Then, when there is the fear of performance, of judgment, there will be confidence in their own practice. They will focus. Let me focus and let me enjoy, because it is ultimately about expression, not what other people think. And when a person, talented person who has practiced, goes on to a stage with confidence, others are bound to acknowledge and appreciate. Next slide, please. So this is again a poll. Hmm? Do you know the person in the picture? The clue is the pathway in the hills. Anybody can put in the chat box. Manji, correct. Very nice. So this is the photo of Dashrath Manji. If others don't know, Dashrath Manji identified a major obstacle affecting his daily life and worked constructively to resolve it. The process of dealing with difficulties to reduce stress is defined as. Hmm? So which life skill did he use in this? All. Okay, not all. Most of it. See, I know all we can say. Out of these four, which is the most common? C, problem solving, many, decision making. Okay. Let us say tomorrow you or me are at this step and we are given this. Do we really think 99.99% people will not take the decision which Dashrath Maji took? Because when we do creative analysis, critical thinking, it is an absolutely foolish decision to keep on doing that, persisting and thinking that one person we can change the mountain and create a road. Creative thinkingly, maybe he would have applied to the government, brought machines. No, he did not have his critical creative thinking was maybe a failure. But what he lacked in decision, he solved the problem by sheer willpower, persistence and persistence, persistence. So we have to say that it was a problem solving. He knew the only way he could solve the problem himself without depending on the others, and he started it. And by few years down the years, his persistence has given rewards. So maybe for most of us, mere mortals, uh, it was a failure of critical thinking on Manji's part. But for some of them, such solutions make sense because they are made up of stuffer material. But this is an example of problem solving. Next slide, please. So we already discussed the major life skills. Now let us put to test. We will discuss two case scenarios in a faster. Samir sir, please take.
Yeah. So now, when we are do the polling, we all think that every all life skills are really required in our day-to-day life, and that polling answer is coming all the life skills. But when we are discussing a specific problem, the life skill will be the answer will be targeted which life skill most we use. Now let's go for a few problems that will be how we can utilize each and every life skill in a systematic way, structured way that the problem can be solved. And the two problem what today we are discussing is just a glimpse of that how you have to do same type of the exercise tomorrow in our brainstorming session. So this is the now we have to understand how we are understanding this problem and how we are solving this problem in which format, and we have to manage same thing tomorrow. So let's see a 7 years old Ria and her friends have become the very conscious of their looks and want to have a costly cosmetic and plastic surgery to improve their looks. Parents tell you to help them to how modify their thinking process. So what is our goal setting when such patients come? One is to the their goal setting is to improve the body image and improve the self-respect. These two are the goal setting. For that they are thinking in a wrong side up about the changing their body shaping and plastic surgery. So what is our routine approach when such type of the patients coming into our regular routine OPD? We usually counsel them that beauty is not the a thing that look after and it's just temporary. They should focus on their career because career and their quality will be the really improve their quality of the life and the different perspective of the other people. Grooming is okay, but procedures are really risky. That what we usually explain. So this is our routine OPD approach, isn't it? So whether what you can say, will this work? If not, how can we do something better than this routine approach? Let's discuss. So here our all life skill will be really coming into the picture, and if we teach this life skill to the our adolescent, or we can able to apply in our management part. It will be really something giving a good effective tool to manage such type of the cases. So let's say start with the self-awareness. Means we will start to asking the adolescent that what do you like about yourself? When did you start feeling you are not good looking enough? And what are the factors influencing her for this belief? So we are starting him to giving a self-awareness about her, what the problem actually, what are the things what they are thinking is something related with their own belief, or it will be really actually is there or existing or not. Then coming the empathy, that including the how does she receive the constant criticism about her look for her peers that hurts her, and is she struggling with body image pressure? Means why she or her friends want to go for such type of the critical surgery and thing, because of this type of the criticism that is really hurting them, and really they are she is struggling from the body image pressure because of the continuous criticism. So what the inner cause is, and that is the our empathy about that girl, that Ria. Now coming to use of the life skill, that is the critical thinking, that what at presently we are just know about the 5W and 1H approach, just what I just told that we will definitely see in our case scenario. So here the first W is who, second is what, then where, when, why and how. So in Ria's case, let's put into the chat box who are the main problem and who are the actors. Write into the chat box. Sandeep. Hello.
Peers, Ria and her friends.
Perfect. So it is the not only the peers, but the skin influencers are also there. Parents are also affecting, and medical things are also there. Then what the actions they are discussing? They want to go for this type of the anti-aging either fillers and botox, what they found into the WhatsApp and social media platform and Instagram, and then Instagram face generalization, then again creating such type of thing. So these are the actions what they actually found. Then coming the where the pressure is coming, and that pressure is starting and coming from that Instagram and all social media comparison and despairing loop between the each player peer, and of course in the family also, and retail hangouts that may happen. Then coming to the when, because it's a early age puberty to later just late adolescent group, and that ultimately filter the moment. So timing when it occurs is very important. Then coming the why, who are the core driver, that is the belonging and survival, algorithmizing the dysmorphia, controlling the chaos, and accommodating the self. That is the important thing. So these are the co-drivers that ultimately want them to making them that they are looking ugly. Their self-esteem and self-awareness reduced. They emphasize themselves in a wrong way that they are looking ugly, and they have to work hard for looking better. So this is the core driver that affecting, and ultimately how, because of the gamification, parasonic trust, and hallucinating quick accessibility. All this don't go in detail, but ultimately these are the mechanism that ultimately affecting their life to become the more miserable by utilizing this such type of the dangerous outcome, that what this mechanism working. So now how, what is the solution? Now we understand the problem is which are the life skills and how we can creating the critically think, and now coming is the creative thinking. So let's accept for the discussion that beauty is a very important. Then we are asking, can you tell the what the meaning of the beauty means? Is it a complex, a complexion? If say yes, We can give enough example that these are the beauty queens in our Bollywood, and they having an excellent career, even though they are not having a complexion of the very fair looking. Then about the whether she want to consider a tall as a beautiful, we can have enough example in Bollywood about the different short actresses. Then coming to the body shape, these are the actresses having excellently managing themselves because of their excellent acting rather than the body shaping. So these all the examples will be making them thinking critically that and creatively we are explaining them. So their critical thinking will be starting with our creative thinking of giving a proper example to them in our OPD, and this creative thinking help us to make some solution that can be changed. And then come about the more creative thinking that name the celebrity you admire for the popularity, whether he get trolled anytime, thus he having a haters, how much of their achievement is actually related with their hard work and then social media, and their popularity will be achieved without the plastic surgery, and we want to popular the social media. Then after the coming to the thinking of them hammering in their thought process, we are now discussing about the risk of the plastic surgery, and we have a good example of the very popular pop singer, and if we know up to give such example, it will strike immediately in there. At the same time, Priyanka Chopra herself confesses because of her surgery, sir, she feel have to go for many consequences, and this type of the risk, whether she want to take or not, we have to discuss that in our OPD during our counseling session. So ultimately, we convince them that these are the what they are thinking. They are not beauty queen is not a problem. How it will be the complexion will be taken over with their own skill. At the same time, what are the different risks to taking such type of the risk taking such surgery, and what the ultimate effect are. But ultimately we have to give some problem solving solutions also, because we are not going only to take a this is a wrong thing, nothing to do. We have to give a proper healthy useful way for teenagers to improve their personality and beauty, and this is the thing we have to prescribe in a proper way, that including the physical health and natural beauty like hydration, proper sunscreen lotion, quality of the sleep, eat healthy, good posture, hygiene habit. This ultimately give them the proper healthy life. At the same time, your social skill and magnetic personality improve the socialization and communication and interpersonal relationship. Your mental well-being is your inner voice, and that will give a smile excellently throughout your career. And quick action plan like changing from the water from the sugary drink, reading the 5 page daily to go for a good journalism, and practice genuinely all the healthy beauty tips what we had given in regular way. And finally the follow-up is very important. So now we understand that this is the actual scenario what we just prepared for you, and that is the thing, this different solution what we can go out to. Can you give any more idea what we had given over and above to give that Ria to give the solution for her problem, that is the not looking good and want to go for surgery with her friends? You can write into chat box over and above the idea what we had given to them. Yes,
Communication skills.
yes. One is the communication skill, perfect.
Counsel the friends too.
Counsel to friends too, right?
Beauty is time bound.
That is our first sentence.
Counseling, acceptance.
Right.
What
So
can be changed
ultimately,
and
we
what
have
cannot.
perfect. So we have to divide the things. That is the absolutely perfect. The making the problem in their hand. That is a very important thing. So let's go for the second problem. Sandeep.
So now we discussed about Ria. This is 15-year-old Raj. So 3 or 4 months are left. He's going to have his board exams in Feb. He's also the swimming team captain, and they have the inter-school competition around the same time in February. He knows the importance of exams, but also feels responsible for the school performance because he's taking part since many years for the school, and now he's the captain. So when such a problem is there, we try to set a goal. So what are the goals over here? Next, please. So the goal is that he wants to pass the exams with good marks. He's good in academics. That is very important. At the same time, he wants to take part in the swimming competition without affecting academics. Now, whether this is possible or not, he has to go and sit and discuss. But these are the primarily the two goals which he has set. Next, please. What is the self-awareness? He knows that exams are important and he needs to be prepared. He also knows the responsibility which comes along with being a team captain. So he himself has to be perfect so that others can be motivated. Next. Then comes empathy. Raj understands that teammates look up to him and may feel anxious if he suddenly withdraws from the competition. But he also knows parents, teachers, and coach also carry pressure for the results, and parents also wants him to focus on academics. Next. So let us use the life skills of thinking, critical thinking. So whenever there is free time, he can plan his swimming. Then the teamwork, captaincy work, he can share responsibility with his teammates. Now he has to discuss with coach and team how they can support him. So what he has to do is maybe he cannot spend as much time in practice, but shorter, more focused practice can be important. And he can have slightly flexible timing to accommodate his other classes or preparations, which is equally important. Next. So creative thinking, what he can do, how can Raj support the team when he's not always over there? He can give tips to his teammates. Just write down the tips he wants them to perform with and monitor after the session and ask them. He can keep on sending them motivational messages in the group and maybe even some videos which they can refer to when they are in a problem. When there is some improvement in their skills, he can celebrate with them, have small events so that maybe each and every practice, Raj may not be there as a captain, but he can help his teammates so they keep on looking up to him and he also can focus on his studies on the rest of the time. So this is use of creative thinking. Next slide. Next, please. What else can he do? So problem solving. Here the problem is what? Clash between the timings and responsibilities as a student captain. So what he has to do is move through steps. Timing and workload is the problem. So what are the options? Evaluate and choose a plan and assign responsibilities. So he has to take some. So parents may help in studies. The coach may help in some swimming class assignments. And the teachers may schedule his classes or maybe exams at a different time whenever possible so that his swimming also can be accommodated. And celebrate the efforts because that is important. This is going to be very hectic for him, his parents, maybe the coach also, but celebrate with them because all are trying to contribute to the best. Then decision making, list the options. Now he has to decide because I'm focusing on two very important things, maybe other parts, maybe screen time has to reduce significantly. My other options, and he has to list these options and share this discussion with his parents, coach, and teachers so that they all are willing participants to his plan. So this is how he can use different thinking skills to achieve the goal which he wants to be successful in two walks of life. So similarly, tomorrow when we are discussing, there will be case scenarios and not only these four thinking skills, we'll be using all our life skills to solve certain issues. So I hand over to Samir sir so that we can have a small discussion. And again, today we finished on time. So Samir sir, 5 minutes for your last instructions.
Madam is there, so madam's comment is much better than me.
So
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, Samir and Sandeep, for a wonderful session. And the last two case scenarios really brought into picture how we can use the thinking skills. But what I would like to emphasize, that thinking skill is the most difficult lecture to grasp, because we have a lot of modules and we did the 4 skills together. So don't get confused or don't get overwhelmed. Keep watching this video again and again. And the more you watch the videos, you'll understand better. So just to make a little summary, that when we talk of critical thinking, we give the 5W and H methods. Now, whenever you give any protocol or whenever you give any module, it takes time to absorb. So if you don't understand in the first thing, it's okay. Keep practicing it again and again, because unless you understand it yourself, it'll be very difficult for you to guide an adolescent and counsel him, or also guide a parent. In critical thinking, you have to also understand the various biases, the confirmation bias, the cognitive bias. And in creative thinking, we have to think of the 6 thinking hats, the mind mapping, the radiant thinking, reframing, brainstorming. Again, I talked of cognitive maturity, so that you don't overwhelm yourself or don't overwhelm the adolescent with the various things available. For example, when you're talking of decision making, you have the power method and you have the 3C method. So 3C method is little more simple. So when you're talking to adolescents who are 10 to 14, don't rush with the power method, give the 3C method. And when you have an adolescent which has a little more cognitive capacity, you go for the power method. Similarly, when you're going for these temptation traps, fear traps, try to understand them. And unless you have understood themselves, don't start to doing it. Secondly, also in problem solving, there are 7-step methods, there are ideas. So what I'm trying to say is, first understand the various modules, grasp it yourself, practice it till you are very confident, and then depending on the cognitive maturity of the adolescent which you are dealing with, give the simple models to the 10 to 14 years and the complex models to the older children. And even for the older children, don't give all the options first. You say, try this out. If this doesn't work, next time when you come, I can give you a better model. So you have to be very careful that you don't overwhelm yourself, don't get confused yourself, and don't confuse your patient or parent or adolescent. Any questions on this? You're welcome.
No, actually, it's not the question, but observation that in life we have been going through all these stages. We have been doing most of these things, but we do not know the label. What is this thing called? What theory it fits in? So we do not know the names, labels, but we have been using this practice every day in our life, more or less right or wrong, but we have been using.
Absolutely right, Dr. Banga, that as we sail through life, we all intuitively use life skills, and we intuitively use our wisdom and experience, and that is really what are real life skills. The reason we go through this protocol, or reason we go through a very systematic approach, like even in the ICU, we know that if there's an emergency and if there's a protocol, your mind quickly kicks in, and then you do a much better job. Similarly, when you have little labels, when you have some models, when you have something, then it is easier to go through the skill. And especially when you are teaching youngsters, where they're still developing their cognitive function, where they're still developing their prefrontal cortex, giving a protocol and a stepwise module helps them to develop their cognitive function. But what you said is absolutely right. None of us learned life skills when we were kids, but we still navigated in life with the help of our parents, our peers, our teachers. But I always feel that had I learned life skills when I was in school, I would have been much better able to deal with the various bullying and the stresses which I underwent in school. So I think these children are lucky that we are teaching them a very systematic approach with models where they can get a better thinking. It is like, how we go for coaching classes and learn mnemonics and learn better study skills and improve our study performance to do better exam performance, something like that. So these life skills are structured lecture with protocols, and that will help us a little bit.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Further reading and all that, yes, we'll share in the
I've already said, we had already shared enough material. If you just scroll up, you will get the material which we having a internal link also to go for the up ahead also. I think we already having the whole week. We had already given this video. Few people asking to extend the video for one more week also.
And when you're watching the video, no, go in 15 minutes installment so that you absorb a little. Don't go through the whole video at once. We are giving you 1 week time. So start with 15 minutes, absorb that portion, write down notes, then go to another 15 minutes. Then you will really enjoy the video and it will be learning. If you rapidly go through the whole video, again you'll get overwhelmed. So go in 15-minute section, make your own personal notes, and then you'll really absorb this session well.
Now, madam, we will go for the further discussion. Can we just explain about the tomorrow's session? This is basically very important
So
for
can I
them
log
to
out now?
understand. Yes,
You all will
madam.
do
If
the
we will
planning. Thank you very much. My sleep time. So good night, everybody.
Ma'am, thank
See you
you, ma'am,
tomorrow.
for a very elaborative and very, very insightful
Good
talk,
night,
ma'am.
madam.
And we
Thank you.
learned a lot from
Thanks.
you, and your presence, as has been said by someone, makes it really an electrifying experience for all of us, ma'am. Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much
much.
for extending your sleep hours, ma'am.
Yeah,
Please
thank
just have a relaxed time, and we are very, very grateful to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And look forward to a very nice session tomorrow.
Good night,
Yes.
madam.
Now, madam, let's focus on the four important thing before we just discuss further of the tomorrow's timing, because tomorrow's session is very important for the each and everyone. You really require your digital skill to be activated because we having a breakout session. Few of you definitely go through the how to go to the breakout room, but few may not be know about how we go through that. And for that purpose, the actual time flow what we had planned for the tomorrow session, you all have to understand in proper structured way. And that's why just I am focusing and showcasing that so you can understand how we can going to proceed tomorrow. Otherwise, you become totally blank how to go and where to go. So first important thing, we will start with the introduction and then we have a total recap of the our all four presentation of the 4 days. So you can having a acquainted that which life skill will be applied in how way. Then we will divide you in the four breakout room for the discussion regarding the specific case scenario that will be given to the individual group. I just now share the breakout room division into the our group. Check the your breakout room number. That is very important. Even though you are not doing the break how to go to that breakout room, we will directly divert you to this concerned room, but at least you should know which breakout room you have, so we can absolutely divert you in a proper way. So I will requesting everyone just check that document I just shared into the and find out your name and your breakout room thing. Once we will reach to the breakout room, we will allocate the each breakout room one leader, one narrator, and our faculty will be the facilitators, and they will facilitate about the how you can continue this discussion in specific stipulated time of the 15 minutes. Maximum grace of 3 minutes can be given, otherwise then breakout room will be closed itself only. So you have to complete your discussion and come to the conclusion what the problem is and how you can solve it out. And then you having a totally 15 minutes presentation of each case scenario that what we had discussed in the we will analyze the each case how we can go for what is the core problem identified, which are the missed life skills that will be highlighted, and what is the proposed solution on base of the life skill. So this is the our presentation purview, and that will be the we have to follow. And then we having a 10 minutes of the discussion and recap. Now understanding of the how and what you have to do in breakout room, and that is the very important thing. In breakout room, we having a structured discussion of the 15 minutes. Then we having a presentation of the what you discuss and what is the conclusion, that presentation of the 5 minutes. And then the whole group, not only group, means whole after all the participants will discuss in the main group after the closing of breakout room discussion will be there. So this is a structure of the breakout session that what you have to think. how to joining the breakout room is very important, and for that we had already designed the pre-design assigned breakout room number. I already shared that thing. Once prompt click to join to the breakout room, it appears on your screen. You have to just click on the concerned room number, and you can directly reach to the concerned breakout room. If suppose in this thing you are not able to go for the able to reach to the concerned breakout room, be calm, be relaxed, take a 4 seconds pause. We will directly announce your name, and you have to just give the number of your breakout room. We will divert it to the that concerned breakout room. So your breakout room number is very important. Then we will divide them. We had already discussed and divided few leader in your breakout room. So we are totally dividing into the 4 breakout room. So we having a 4 leader, each leader is handling, and that he will facilitate the discussion and manage the time. We having a one narrator who just note the key point and present into the main room. So for that, narrator has role will be very important. And then faculty will of the two faculty will be handling your breakout room. They will available for guidance, but they will not interfering in your discussion. They will not give any conclusion to you. They will just take up a thing that everything will be going in a proper structured way, and everything will be completing in the time. That is very important, and that's the role of facilitator. What we will do in case the thing what that I just already discussed, what is the actual core problem, main issue, and who is affected and why, what are the missing life skill that is still lacking, what are the solution of the life skill based approach, and this is all we have to follow. 1 minute's warning sign will be given when the breakout room complete. So before that, every participation have to give a active participation, and then it will the discussion should be focused and respectful. Avoid the side-to-side conversion and multitasking, and for that, the leader's role is very important. Keep the discussion very short and structured, that ultimately you can note it down in the last 5 minutes. What is your conclusion of your discussion? That in the all the point what that discussed, that is the what is core problem, which is the missing life skill, and what the solution of this life skill based approach. This thing again will be explained by the facilitator when you just enter into the breakout room. After the completion and when we will close the breakout room, we all are again gathered into our main room. Here, each group has one narrator, and he will or she will present the whole discussion in the strictly 5 minutes. And after the 5 minutes ends, there will be discussion of the 10 minutes related to same issue, and we will ask the other breakout room people to give the comment related to your discussion, and finally we can have some concluding remark. Zoom etiquette should be maintained. That is, the mic should be muted when not speaking. Stable internet connection is very important, and I requesting each and everyone to join with the laptop or desktop, not by mobile, because in breakout room it is very difficult for you to move here and there. When required, you can raise the hand and chat. And if you are missed somewhere anywhere, just be calm, wait. Any one of the our faculty will ask you to what you require, and we will definitely do the needful as per your requirement. Right. So this is in short about the how intricately we are going to manage the breakout room. How many of you has experienced the breakout room? Just raise your hand, or you just write down in the chat box, so at least we can have some calculation what the things we have to go for. And do you think today one trial of that breakout room should be there? If you want to, we can do a one trial of the 2 minutes of breakout room, in which we actually see the how breakout room works. Before that, just I sharing the our breakout room division, so everybody can understand what to see and how to see this thing. Are you able to see my screen, right? So here the breakout room number 1, breakout number 2, 3 and 4 I had given. Our facilitator for breakout number 1 is Dr. Swati Bhav and Dr. Kalyani Patra. For the breakout room 2, Prasant Karya and Kashmiri Badbade. For the room number 3, Sandeep Kavde and myself. And breakout room number 4, Dr. Piyali Bhattacharya and Dr. Nitish Soni. The group leader in group 1, we had allotted Dr. Swati Ghate, if she will be available. Dr. Swati Ghate is here at present. Is she there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you will have to look after as a leader in the group breakout room number 1, right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank
For the breakout room number 2, Dr. Ashok Banga will take as a leader. Room number 3, Dr. Sushma Desai will be leader, and breakout number 4, Dr. Sami Ghosh will be the leader.
Samir
I'm
bhai, you
here.
have
All
made
are there,
me,
right?
I'm here. Yeah.
Samir bhai, you have made me a leader, but I have never gone through this. So better
सर
change
आपको
to some-
इसीलिए तो आपको जस्ट टाइम मैनेज करना है और डिस्कशन क्या करना है. नाउ यू एंटर इनटू दिस सी, यू हैव टू swim at least. So this is just this is just the leadership is the just maintaining the timeline, and the all the discussion is going not haywire. That is your responsibility. Otherwise, the Dr. Prasant Karya and Kashmiri is there to look after other things, right, sir?
ठीक है, तो इसलिए जो गलती होगी उसके लिए पहले से माफी मांग लेते.
नो प्रॉब्लम. ओनली गलती एक मत करना कि कोई कंक्लूजन पे नहीं पहुंचे आपका ग्रुप. दैट इज द ओनली थिंग दैट व्हाट यू टू टेक केयर. अदरवाइज एवरीथिंग विल बी ओके.
Right.
For the narrator, Dr. Archana madam is there. Dr. Archana Khair from Pune. Dr. Lavanya Srikant is there from Coimbatore. Dr. Ritu. Okay, so we will find out one of the person out of that. Once we will enter into the room, the one person should be the narrator. Any one of the in this list can be the narrator. You can just ask the your facilitator, and they will allot a role of the narrator in that.
Dr.
Sandeep, you
Uma
want to
Rao
look after
has
that?
acknowledged her presence.
Yes.
Dr. Uma Rao has acknowledged her presence.
Yes,
Right.
I'm
So
there,
Dr.
sir.
Yeah, perfect. Madam, you have to become the narrator for the breakout room number 4, right?
Okay.
So remaining 3 we will find the replacement if somebody will be available, and the concern thing Dr. Kalyani, Dr. Prasant and Dr. Sandeep will take care of that thing.
Okay.
When we will enter that, we will identify the person and we can allot that, right? So this is the thing what I just already shared into the group. You just go through this thing, find out your name into the concerned group. It is almost alphabetical order only, to you will easily find out your name into the your which breakout room you are. Now you want that we having a one just simple round of breakout room. If everyone yes, so we can have a 2 minutes of breakout room to everybody has live experience, and then we can discuss it for the today. Okay. So now at presently Sandeep is there, myself is there, Dr. Prasant is there.
He has joined.
I
Yes,
think
yes.
left the
Here
connection.
only. No, I'm here
Prasant
only.
is there. Yeah, Prasant is there. So right, room number 1, Prasant, you will take care. Room
Okay.
number 2, Sandeep. Room number 3, Dr. Samik will be there. And room number 4, Dr. Sushma Desai, madam, temporarily. Right? So you just go through your concern room along with the thing. Any room number at presently you will go, not a matter. Today it is your choice which room, but tomorrow you just have to go to your concern room. That is very, very important. So I am just
Samir
opening the
bhai,
breakout.
let people stick to their rooms because you have
बिल्कुल.
displayed
अभी
it.
at
My
present किसी
suggestion
ने
will
देखा
be
ही
the
नहीं होगा.
same.
अभी देखा ही नहीं होगा सर किसी ने. पूरा लिस्ट है. So they have to find out their concern group, and it will take a time of another 10 minutes to find out their name.
That's okay.
Right, sir?
ये सारे देखिए.
So
जिन्होंने
those who
देखा है
have
उन्हें
seen
अपने
their
रूम में
room,
जाइए.
go to the
अरे
room.
जिन्होंने देखा है वो अपने रूम में जाओ, नहीं देखा है वो
Yes,
अपने
yes.
हिसाब से जाओ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
ठीक है.
Okay, so I am just creating the 4 breakout room. You just go through that thing, and if you are not able to reach to this room, I just stay at the same place. I will ask you, and you can for your choice, and I will send to your concerned room. Okay, ready? I am just creating the room.
How to go to that room?
Yeah,
And
now rooms
click
are
on that.
open. You can just go for the concerned room. What you can ask for. There are the 4 rooms are there. You can go as per your choice at presently.
Where do we
I
see
just
this?
waiting for the
Yeah.
30 seconds. If you are not able to go, I will assign you personally to what you were then, how that will be the actual experience you will get it tomorrow also.
Here, room not detected, Dr. Samir.
Don't worry, sir. What I say, take a deep breath, take a
Not
4
able to
second
see the
pause
room,
and
sir.
be. Dr. Uma madam, take a 4
Not
second breath, take a 4 second breath, deep breath, be calm. I am coming with you. Don't say anything, not able to do that, right? Everybody will get in your own room, don't worry. स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम दी डॉक्टर अशोक बंगा सर,
Yes.
कौन सा रूम है आपका?
रूम 2, लेकिन मुझे कहाँ दिखेगा?
अभी आप आ गए रूम 2 में, चलो। देन चंद्रिका, चंद्रिका डोडियाल, धीरज कावेरी, चंद्रिका डोडियाल रूम नंबर 2 गया। धीरज कावेरी, अनम्यूट
Sir,
योरसेल्फ एंड स्पीक। धीरज,
room number 2, but I
ओके।
can't see where I am.
देन दीपाली, दीपाली,
Yes, sir. Room number 1.
ओके। देन जिदुला, जिदुला सागर, ममता बड़े, बोड़े, बोड़ बड़े, ममता, मीनाक्षी, प्रवीण, राकेश भारद्वाज,
Room number 3.
सामिक घोष,
Room 4.
देन केरापलन साई प्रसाद,
2, sir. Number 2.
गोठवम, गोठमैन, गोठमैन, कजारी सरकार, किरण किन्नी,
Room number
I
2,
am
sir.
room number 2. Kajari Sarkar, room number 2.
काजरी सरकार रूम नंबर 2,
2.
ओके।
Room number 2, sir. Yeah.
किरण किन्नी,
Room number 2, sir.
रूम नंबर 2। किशन चावड़ा, मतीन शेख, हेलो, पुष्कर मराठे, राम काजा, ओके। So now I just open up close the all room. So we are again gathering into the main room. People is still joining to room is closing in next 1 minute. Till that we can wait. Right, everybody. And now in the breakout room, take a 1 minute. Then we will start the discussions. So how is the experience? You will able to go to the concern room, right? So tomorrow after our primary introductory session, this will be our basic exercise to go first into the breakout room. We will complete this breakout room division in as far as possible 3 to 4 minutes, depends on the digital levels of all our colleagues, and we will start our discussion. Our facilitator will do the remaining concern thing.
Okay. Fine.
Till 21 second is there, so still few people is in the another room. Just wait for the few other people, and then we will discuss. Right. So now all the participants are now in our main room, including the Dr. Sushma Desai, Dr. Sandeep Kaude, Dr. Prasant Karia, and Dr. Sami Ghosh. All are now there, and Banga sir is also there. Right. So we having now the closed room, good experience. We having all the leaders are there, all facilitators will be take the look after, so don't worry. Main thing is once the case to be given, all the team persons has to work together to discuss the case actually under the foreheading what I just discussed. What is the problem, which are the life skills are lacking, and how you can solve that problem with the help of the life skill. We are not focusing any psychosomatic disorder, or not focusing on the psychological management or any intensive psychiatric care or medication. We are going to focus exclusively on the life skill management. Clear? So our focus of discussion should be remain to the life skill education and life skill based management, nothing other than that. So any query, confusion till now, we are open for next 2 or 3 minutes, then otherwise we can conclude this session. Any query, it is open session. You can unmute and ask.
Narrator will compile the discussion and present it afterwards.
Right, sir. Your leader's responsibility that narrator should properly take a proper note of your discussion, and she can present in front of your group before you leave that room.
Yes.
Right. Otherwise, that may be you are not knowing what your narrator is going to present. So your 15 to 20 minutes time will be definitely very important. That including the narration and discussion, and that is very important.
Yes.
Time of the tomorrow session will be start sharp 8:30. If you join late after 9 or something, that may be a chance breakout room will be maybe start, and then it becomes very difficult for you to join. So do join sharply at 8:30, because we having a very important recap of each and every life skill what we are discussed till now, and
Yes.
based of that recap your discussion will be focused.
Yes.
Okay. So we can conclude.
Dr.
Sushma Desai, madam.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Samir Thakur,
Yes.
Yeah.
Amrita.
we'll get the recording of today's session, right?
Yeah, today's
To go
session is
through
there.
again.
Tomorrow's session recording will be not available.
Yes, agreed, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I think Samir bhai, that's time to call a day.
Right.
Good night, everyone. See you all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
so
And
thank you
see
so
you
much for
tomorrow
joining
sharply
today.
8:30.
Yeah,
And
tomorrow
I hope
try
today
to
you
join
enjoy
5
this.
minutes earlier.
Okay.
Try to join 5 minutes earlier,
Right.
please.
Right.
Okay.
Good night.
So,
Right.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.